Magandang July po sa lahat. Project Propel is very happy to welcome you to the kick-off ceremony of its National Nutrition Month celebration, EcoGardens tutok sa first 1,000 days. I am Kimberly Cabanes, your host for this event, tuning in from Camarines Norte, where Project Propel is implementing its Eco Farms and Eco Toilets program. Before we begin, may we ask for a moment of silence for the national anthem and invocation?
Bayang madilim, pelas ng sinanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiging, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong butaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kisat ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagnidinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di manidinig, lupa ng araw ng buwan at ipagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Na kami pumakno nga nibiyagan nindat mo, idatanda kami bikan mangat na pinhud mo. Dawat nilinggop hino aya tuboblemi, he ay makiwada-wada kida kami. Hey ay makiwada-wada kita.
Hey ay makiwada-wada, hey ay makiwada-wada kita kami.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wal barakatuh. Salam pa mga kiaulungan sin Tuhan. Pianaugan niya Nabi Iban Quran. Kasilasan niya sa plag pakatilingkal alam. Maglasa kita niyo bat tumanan. Mbo Tuhan, tunggal nu sa sangdolan kami. Buwanin kami rijiki maglabi-labi. Law sangom rahmat nu subay panpinugji. Hangkan kita bi subay magkasih-kasih.
Sa ngalan pangurungan, pangutuyong Espiritong kalatag nun.
Pangurumon kang busalat, pangkalikupanan, pangurumon kang pangirayan, Kang walay sikog balantang nga makagululang Panginoon ka sinilagan Panginoon kang apagatang Panginoon kang masakpan Panginoon kang suwadan Pangito'y watang walay sikog balantang nga makahululan
Diyos na mapagpala, hiling namin ang pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman sa bawat nilalang.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos ng awa, bigyan mo kami ng kakayahan sa pagtataguyod ng pakikipag-ugnayan sa bawat isa.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na mapagkalinga, mangyaring ikawan ang pagpapaunlad ng kalikasan ng tao sa mundo.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
O Diyos na pag-ibig, tulutan mo ang aming bansa ng pagkakaisa at pagkakaunawaan sa gitna ng pagkakaiba-iba.
Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami. Panginoon, dinggin mo kami.
With us in this event via Zoom are our friends and colleagues from Dr. Mariella Castillo, UNICEF Manila, Elizabeth Lanning, Amanda Barizo, May Baez, Rowena Mendoza, Project Propel, Milagros Elisa Federizo, RND MPH, National Nutrition Council-NCR Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Cap Butch Ubaldo, Kagawad Baby to Proxy Barangay Dona Imelda Chair, Tom Pignon, ADRA Philippines Country Director, Elder Stephen Leninger, LDS Charities, Help International, Ria Claudine Atienza, Neth Jimenez Sarilaya, Dr. Mia Silvestre, Kalusugan ng Magina, Monsini Hinay Kids School Farm. To officially open, Elizabeth Lanning, our CEO and founder, also tuning in from Camarines Norte. Please welcome Elizabeth Lanning.
Thank you, Kim. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Good morning, friends and colleagues, for joining Project Propel as we celebrate National Nutrition Month here in the Philippines. We are delighted to have Dr. Mariella Sugue Castillo from UNICEF Philippines to discuss the importance of nutrition during the first 1,000 days. meaning prenatal nutrients during pregnancy, infancy until 6 months, and toddlerhood until 2 years of age. We are excited too to have this conversation under the backdrop of Project Propel's EcoGardens in Metro Manila. The EcoGardens began as a urban nutrition sensitive initiative with the primary objective to increase nutritional intake, thus preventing stunting, malnutrition, and undernutrition. The EcoGardens are more than simply vegetable plots. They are spaces where communities come together, share knowledge and techniques, and learn how to garden organically. These communal hubs with space provided by the local government offer a place of learning and sharing and serve as an example of what communities ought to be. The gardens have provided relief and food security in times of crisis. We witnessed this in 2019 when Barangay Dona Imelda was devastated by a fire, forcing more than 100 families to take shelter at the barangay. Garden members quickly organized a vegetarian, zero waste community kitchen using added nutrients from their garden to provide relief to the fire victims. And during the onset of coronavirus, the gardens once again provided relief with added nutrients during a time of instability. And later today, we will once again witness community at its best when presidents of the EcoGardens share their harvest with neighboring pregnant and lactating mothers. We're really excited about this, so thank you all for joining. And we encourage you to also look at the website, www.projectpropel.org. The EcoGardens are just one of Project Propel's health initiatives, so you can learn more there. Also, we thrive through partnerships. So if Project Propel's initiatives, ethos, and approach to development resonates with you, please reach out to us. We do more together. And while our attention is focused on nutrition, let's all be sure to nurture our bodies to the best of our ability. Nature offers us an abundance, and as our motto goes, eat gulay for buhay, or eat vegetables for life. We wish you all an abundance of health. So marami salamat sa inyo lahat. Thank you again for celebrating Tutok sa first 1,000 days, the National Nutrition Month. And thank you again, Barangay Dona, Imelda, and Council, and all of our LGU partners for helping Project Propel plant seeds for a healthier tomorrow. So marami salamat.
Salamat po, Elizabeth, sa inyong mensahe. Now we will hear from our valued partners from Barangay Dona Imelda, Quezon City, where our EcoGardens are. Please welcome Kagawad Annabel Baby Morales, here to speak on behalf of Mr. Fernan Ubaldo, the Barangay Chair.
Okay. Can you hear me? Am I unmuted already? Okay. So it's great to see you all. I see Lou over there and Roberta. Is it the hair or something? Anyway. Good morning, everyone. I see familiar faces here. I see Ruth, Rowena, Emmy, and Arceli, Atilinda. Well, I'm really glad to be here on behalf of couples. I was surprised that I was about to give the message, but anyway, we're really grateful to Project Propel for initiating the Eat Gulay for Buhay. Talagang for the longest time, you've been with us through thick and thin. You never cease to see to the welfare of the community. We are so happy that you're here with us to guide the community in the conduct of and maintenance to sustain the vegetable gardens that serve to sustain their daily lives. You not only is the the vegetable gardens a source of food for the table, but then somehow it it's a very good diversion for the mothers, that instead of spending time chatting or playing tong eats, they get to use their time to to help the community and their family put food on their table. You cannot, for the longest time you have been with us, and we thank you that you have continually supported the community. It's a small step, but with your continuous support, we really get to see the mothers, the families enjoy the benefits of the vegetable garden. And now the first 1,000 days of sustenance, it's really something I'm really looking forward to help the mothers provide for the newly born children. And I know that it's gonna be another long haul for us, but with you beside us, I'm sure that we can attain the goal of the program. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Nandyan si Amanda. We miss you all. We miss you talaga. Salamat sa inyo lahat. On behalf of Capuch, Ubaldo, and Council, our gratefulness, our sincere thanks na nandyan kayo para supportahan kami. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat Kagawad Baby sa inyong mensahe. Mula din po sa Barangay Dona Imelda, the EcoGarden Presidents, President of Area 3 EcoGarden, Ms. Ruth Latosa Ibdane. Welcome po. Hi, Ms. Ruth Latosa Ibdani, your mic is on mute.
Hello po, magandang July po sa inyong lahat. From Area 3 EcoGarden po. Maraming salamat pag-suporta niyo po sa aming gulayan. Marami pong matutulungan sa aming mga buntis dito at saka sa aming mga lactating mothers. Thank you po. Super po.
Thank you so much po, President Ruth. Susunod naman po natin from Bayani EcoGarden, Ms. Lynn Tulco.
Wala si Lynn?
Hello po. Yung susunod po muna natin from 48 Kapiligan EcoGarden. Nandito na po ba si President Almira Zinia Bernabe?
Nakapasok ba sila? Wala sila.
Okay po, we may call on for next. President of 42 Kapiligan EcoGarden, Dina Sanchez.
Hindi rin sila nakapasok.
Okay po, yung susunod po natin from 29 Kapiligan EcoGarden, President Emelita de Guzman Valencia.
Ako na lang.
Okay po.
Magandang July. From 29 Kapiligan, meron kaming 21 lactating mothers at saka 6 na pregnant woman.
Maraming salamat po, President Emelita de Guzman Valencia, at sa ating mga EcoGarden Presidents. This celebration will not be complete without the presence of the National Nutrition Council. Friends, colleagues, a message from the NNC-NCR's Regional Nutrition Program Coordinator, Ms. Milagros Elisa Federizo.
Ms. Elizabeth Lanning, CEO and founder of Project Propel, Chair and COO, Ms. Amanda Barizo, Program Manager, Ms. May Baez, members of the Board of Directors of Project Propel, Dr. Mariella Castillo, Health and Nutrition Specialist of UNICEF, Barangay Chairperson, Mr. Fernan Ubaldo, and other officials of Barangay Imelda, Quezon City, EcoGarden Presidents and members, and to all of you who have joined us in this virtual event, isang masustansya at mapagpalang umaga sa ating lahat. Good morning and Happy Nutrition Month. Once again, we are celebrating Nutrition Month this July to create greater awareness among Filipinos on the importance of nutrition as provided under Presidential Decree 491 or the Nutrition Act of the Philippines. This law also mandates the National Nutrition Council to lead this yearly nationwide campaign. And I would like to thank Project Propel through its EcoGardens program for participating in this year's celebration of Nutrition Month. This year, the theme of our celebration is Malnutrition, Patuloy na Labanan, First 1,000 Days Tutukan. The theme calls for our sustained effort and continued fight against hunger and malnutrition. Kailangan nating patuloy na labanan ang malnutrition, lalo na ngayong tayo ay nasa pandemya. We need to take action because malnutrition is a threat multiplier. Mas magiging mahirap para sa atin ang labanan, ang COVID-19 at ang epekto ng pandemya kung hindi maganda ang kalagayang pangnutrisyon ng ating bansa. At dahil sa pandemic na ating kinakaharap, mas dumarami ang mga nagugutom at nangangamba tayo na mas dumami rin ang bilang ng mga malnourished na bata, lalo na ang mga bata na wala pang 5 taong gulang. And since much of the resources of our government are being channeled to COVID-19 response and vaccination, our actions must be strategic. This is why we need to focus on the first 1,000 days as a strategy to prevent all forms of malnutrition, particularly stunting. Kailangan nating tutukan ang first 1,000 days. Ano ba ang first 1,000 days? Ito ay nagsisimula sa panahon ng pagbubuntis ng isang ina hanggang ang bata ay mag 2 years old. This is considered to be a critical period of growth and development and a golden window of opportunity to give the best nutrition to a child. Kailangan maibigay sa bata sa kanyang unang 1,000 araw ang wastong nutrisyon, pagmamahal, at pangangalaga upang siya ay lumaking malusog at matalino. Hindi natin dapat palagpasin o ipagwalang bahala ang opportunity na ito dahil ang first 1,000 days ang the best opportunity para mailigtas natin si baby sa malnutrition at magkaroon siya ng pagkakataong lumaking malusog at matalino at makamit niya ang kanyang full human potentials. Guided by the theme, the campaign aims to educate, encourage, and engage Filipinos. First, we want to educate people on the importance of the first 1,000 days and the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition, or the PPAN, as the framework for action to address malnutrition. Second, we want to encourage more stakeholders and communities to participate in the fight against malnutrition and to scale up nutrition actions, particularly in the first 1,000 days. Also, While people are more aware now of nutrition, the challenge is how to put nutrition knowledge into practice and positive nutrition behaviors to prevent malnutrition. That is why we want to encourage families to participate in nutrition programs like the EcoGardens program of the Project Propel. And third, we want to generate interactions from stakeholders about nutrition and get their commitment and support in improving the lives of children through good nutrition. As our partners in nutrition, I hope that you will spread these 4 key messages of Nutrition Month. First, for the pregnant mother, kumain ng sapat para tamang weight gain ang katapat. Ang ating mga buntis ang pag-asa ng bayan because if they are healthy, they will give birth to healthy babies. That is why we need to ensure that pregnant mothers are well nourished. The second message is intended for families. Maging madiskarte sa pagpapakain kay baby. We need to support and empower families so that they can provide good nutrition and quality care to children, especially during their first 2 years of life. Babies need to be exclusively breastfed in the first 6 months. Then, starting 6 months, they should be given appropriate complementary feeding with continued breastfeeding. The third message targets the local chief executives, and that includes our dear barangay chairpersons. Nutrisyon ng aking bayan, aking pananagutan. The key implementers of the PIPA nutrition programs are the local government units. Thus, we encourage them to own their nutrition program by preparing local nutrition action plans with adequate budgets for nutrition programs and ensure that there is adequate personnel to deliver nutrition services. And the fourth message is addressed to all. Suportahan ang PIPAN, invest in the first 1,000 days. We call on everybody, civil society, NGOs, business, academe, media, and government to work together to be able to scale up the much-needed nutrition interventions for impact and synergy. It takes a whole-of-society approach in addressing the problem of hunger and malnutrition. For better recall, the Abacada messages have been identified to support this campaign. A. Alagaan ng buntis. Ba, breastfeeding is best for baby. Ka, complementary feeding na sapat. Da, dapat suportado ang PIPAN. Sana po ay tulungan nyo kami na maipalaganap ang Abacada messages na ito. I invite everyone to help us in this campaign. We need your support and cooperation in our fight against hunger and malnutrition. I encourage you all to make a difference and be actively involved in promoting, protecting, and supporting the first 1,000 days. Let us remember, it takes a village to raise a child. We need to involve as many sectors as possible to prevent malnutrition and its deleterious effects on our nation's future, our children. Improving nutrition during the critical first 1,000 days is one of the best investments we can make to secure the future of our children and of our nation. Let us all work together to eliminate all forms of malnutrition and raise a laking 1,000 generation of Filipinos achieving their full potential. Malnutrition, patuloy na labanan, first 1,000 days tutukan. Muli, magandang umaga and happy Nutrition Month. God bless you all.
Maraming salamat po, Ms. Milagros Elisa Federizo, sa inyong mensahe. Our resource speaker is from UNICEF Philippines. As a health and nutrition specialist, her work focuses on strengthening health systems to deliver evidence-based maternal and child health care aligned with global health goals. She also worked with the World Health Organization Philippines country office as technical officer. She is a pediatrician and an epidemiologist. Here with us
Nagpakapatay anak ng dalawa.
opportunity and share with us some tips for mothers with COVID-19 on how to continue breastfeeding. Please welcome Dr. Mariella Sugue Castillo. Feel free to send your questions during the speech by writing them in the chat box. Thank you so much po.
Thank you, Kimberly. Is my audio okay?
Yes po.
Sige, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Magandang umaga sa mga founders and supporters of Project Propel, sa NNC at sa mga barangay officials at higit sa lahat sa mga mothers, titas, lolas, sa mga EcoGarden. At salamat po sa pag-imbita nyo. I'm going to share my lecture. I hope I've been asked to speak to you about the first 1,000 days. And Kimberly, okay na ba? Can you see the Can you see the title slide?
Yes po, I can see it po.
Okay. All right. So oops, I think I'm not in slideshow. So I'd like to speak to you about the first 1,000 days. Since sabi po ni NNC, this is a Nutrition Month, and it's really important to highlight how critical nutrition is, but especially in the first 1,000 days. So I will start muna yung ano ba yung first 1,000 days? Saan ba galing yung numero na 1,000? It comes from yung pregnancy, 9 months, no, times 30, so 270 days. And then the first 6 months of life, yung so 180 days, at yung natitira up to the first 2 years of the child's life. Yan, pag inad mo yan, 1,000 days. At this is a very, very critical window. It's a golden opportunity to shape healthier and more prosperous futures for not just for the child, but for the family, the community, and our whole country. Bakit ba natin binibigyan ng importansya yung first 1,000 days? It's because the child's brain starts developing in the womb, no, sa pagkabuntis pa lang. And because of that, this first 1,000 days and early childhood is the most important developmental phase in life. In this first 1,000 days, lahat ng energy, lahat ng nutrition natin na makukuha ng baby ay napupunta 50 to 75% ng nutrition ng nanay napupunta sa pag-form ng brain cells. And if you look in the microscope, actually in the very powerful electron microscopes, ito yung mga brain cells, yan ang itsura. I will use a pointer. Itong nakikita nyo sa baba. Ang dami-dami yan, milyon-milyon yan. Tapos nagko-connect siya sa isa't isa. In this time, yung pagdami nitong brain cells nito at yung pag-connect nito ay ito ang pinaka mabilis na panahon, no, sa paggawa ng brain cells at pagko-connect. It's about 700 to 1,000 new connections per second. And never again ito mauulit sa buhay ng tao. So kailangan ini-investan, nag-aambag tayo dun sa simula pa lang habang ginagawa ang brain. So when there is not enough nutrition, this process is affected. And it's not just a physical effect, no? Hindi lang lumiliit yung brain, pero yung functioning ng tao, yung functioning ng bata, apektado din. And so And then what happens is this affects children's experiences and then behavior, and then this again in turn influences brain development. So the nutrition, then the conditions of the mother during pregnancy, and then the first 2 years of a child's life, they literally scalp, no, hinuhubog niya yung yung utak ng bata. Timing is important because it is when the interventions are most effective. So habang hinuhulma pa lang yung utak, hinuhulma pa lang yung brain and all the essential organs, this is the best time to provide the best health and nutrition, sanitation and hygiene practices, stimulation and enrichment, and then safety and protection of mother and child. Yung nutrition is to feed and nourish the architecture of the brain during this sensitive period of development, itong first 1,000 days. Yung sanitation and hygiene, importante din to ensure optimal mental and physical development and prevent stunting. Mamaya papakita ko sa inyo kung ano yung stunting. Tapos yung stimulation and enrichment, it's important to spark that neural connections, yung pagdidikit-dikit ng mga brain cells across multiple regions of the brain. And then safety and protection of the child is important to buffer against stress and allow the absorption of nutrition and the growth of brain cells. This underscores the importance of the first 1,000 days because even the environment, yung kinagagalawan ng bata na nagde-develop, no, naaapektuhan pati yung nutrition niya, yung absorption ng nutrients sa kinakain. I want to show you a picture of stunting kasi ito yung nangyayari kung hindi sapat, no, hindi optimized ang nutrition in the first 1,000 days. Ang ibig sabihin ng stunting ay magbaba, no, para sa edad ng bata. So example, on the left, itong dalawang batang babaeng ito sa isang pagsusuri, hindi sa Pilipinas, pareho silang 4 years old. Pero makikita mo, pareho silang height. Pero itong nasa kaliwa ay 4 years old at yung nasa kanan ay 2 years old. So, itong batang 4 years old, yan yung tinatawag na stunting. So, makikita natin meron siyang physical effect, no? Mas mababa ang bata kaysa sa tamang angkop na taas niya para sa edad. So, hindi lang physical ang effect, meron ding effect yan sa mental functioning, no? So, napaka-importante in the first 1,000 days kasi minsan kapag nakita yung malnourished or undernourished na bata at sakalang bibigyan ng nutrition after the age of 2, after the first 1,000 days, minsan hindi na kayang makahabol. Okay? So, sinasabing failure to grow, so may physical and then also mental. And the effects are actually long-term hanggang sa pagtanda. So, poor cognition, ibig sabihin yung mental functioning or intellectual functioning. It leads to low learning performance in childhood. So, hindi nahihirapan sila sa school. And then, lowered productivity dahil kadalasan mas mababa ang natatapos na antas sa pag-aaral, mas mababa din yung nakukuha nilang o mas mabababa ang sweldo nung nakukuha nilang trabaho. So yun nga yung tinatawag na hindi nila na-achieve yung potential nila na kumita, no, pagdating sa adulthood. At hindi lang yun. Pag pangit ang nutrisyon sa first 1,000 days, increased din yung risk o mas malamang na magkakaroon ng chronic diseases in adulthood. Yung naririnig yung comorbid conditions, no? Yun yung chronic diseases in adulthood like diabetes, cholesterol problems, heart problems, overweight, obesity, na siya rin nagiging nagdadagdag sa gastusin ng isang tao at ng isang pamilya. So dumadagdag din siya sa economic burden, no, ng pamilya. So yun yung mga magiging effects kung hindi natin mabibigay ang tamang nutrisyon at pagkalinga in the first 1,000 days. Nakakabahala itong problemang to dahil tingnan nyo itong graph na to from 1993, 2013, tapos na-update na to ng 2018. 30% of children, ito yung graph ng stunting, 30% of children in the Philippines, 0 to 5 years are stunted. So, sa bawat 3 bata, isa sa mga batang Pilipino ay stunted. So, ang daming nawawala in terms of the potential for the child and the potential for economic growth. So, bakit importante yung first 1,000 days? The first 1,000 days is important, number 1, for child survival. So, if the studies have shown that children who get their nutrition, the right nutrition in the first 1,000 days are 10 times more likely to overcome the most life-threatening childhood diseases. Ano yung childhood diseases na yan? Number 1, ikinamamatay ng mga batang Pilipino na maiiwasan ay newborn deaths. Okay, so in the first month of life. And if you give the right nutrition, then they will survive. And then the next number 2 and number 3 causes of death among children below 5 naman ay pagtatae, diarrhea, and pneumonia. So again, the right nutrition in the first 1,000 days are protective against diarrhea and pneumonia. Second, children who get the right nutrition in the first 1,000 days are able to complete more than 4.5 more grades of school. Yun yung sinasabi kong nagkakaproblema nga sa cognitive, no? Yung sa intellectual functioning. In fact, the studies show that poor nutrition or stunting and underweight in the first 1,000 days predicts poor performance in school. So halimbawa, a baby who is born low birth weight, mas magaan kaysa sa 2.5 kilos, mas mababa ang IQ or intellectual quotient, no? Yung measure ng talino by 5 percentage points. Yung mga batang stunted, yung mas mababa kaysa sa dapat na height para sa edad nila, ang IQ bumababa by 5 to 11 percentage points. And those with iodine deficiency, ang IQ ay mababa ng 10 to 15 percentage points. So, malaking bagay yun. Wala pang basa-basa ng libro yan. Just the right nutrition can already improve the intellectual and mental power of children. And then studies have also shown that when the child grows into adulthood, they can earn up to 50% more in wages as adults. So may kinalaman na yan sa functioning at saka kung yung sa antas na naabot sa pag-aaral. And then lastly, the right nutrition in the first 1,000 days. As adults, these children, when they grow up, are more likely to have healthier families. Nabanggit ko na mas mababa nga yung mga yung posibilidad na magkaroon ng diabetes, heart disease, mataas na cholesterol, mataas na uric acid, overweight, obesity, and other chronic illnesses. So, menos gastos na sa mga maintenance na gamot, menos gastos rin sa pag-oospital kung kailangan ma-ospital para sa mga kondisyon na maiiwasan kung tama ang nutrisyon in the first 1,000 days. So, paano natin ibibigay ang best nutrition and nurturing in the first 1,000 days? So, ito na yung how. So, the best practices I mentioned earlier, are for health and nutrition, pero binanggit na nga nung ating naunang speaker na it takes a village. So may iba pang mga components yan, no? Yung water, hygiene and sanitation, early childhood care and development and education, and also a safe environment for mother and child. Sa nutrition, nabanggit na to, optimum nutrition for pregnant mothers. So, gusto ko ngang marinig mamaya pagkatapos yung mga nangyayari o gusto kong makita yung mga nangyayari sa EcoGardens, no? Para mabigyan ng nutrition ang pregnant and lactating mothers. And then for children, breastfeeding and nutritious foods for children up to 2 years. And for the children who have what they call severe acute malnutrition, yung the deadliest form of malnutrition, yung payat na payat, may may angkop na treatment para sa SAM or severe acute malnutrition. Nandito ngayon sa slide yung mga evidence-based, yung mga produkto na ng mga pananaliksik o research kung ano yung tamang nutrition in the first 1,000 days. So sinabi na natin yung optimum nutrition for the mother, no, in pregnancy. So dapat nagpapa-check up at saka nanganganak sa health facility. And then, anemia ay isang importanteng problema sa Pilipinas ng mga babae, lalo na ng mga teenager, mga batang babae at mga babae na hanggang 49 years old, yung child bearing age, dahil 1 out of 4 Filipino women of childbearing age ay may iron deficiency anemia. So, napaka-importante ng nutrition, yung green leafy vegetables, and also taking iron folic acid supplements. Sa birth to the first 6 months of life, yun yung importante, yung exclusive breastfeeding. Kasi yun lang naman ang kailangan na nutrisyon ng sanggol, no, in the first 6 months of life. Ang challenge sa exclusive breastfeeding ay yung kinagagalawan ng mother at ng family. Kasi maraming marketing practices that undermine, no, na kakalaban ng exclusive breastfeeding. Kaya importante yung milk code, yung ating batas, para maprotektahan ang exclusive breastfeeding. Breastfeeding in the workplace, isa yan sa mga top reasons bakit tumitigil ng pagsususo, kasi babalik na sa trabaho. May mga paraan para magpatuloy ng pagpapasuso kahit na pumapasok na sa trabaho, at kahit na yung trabaho ay tinatawag nilang informal, yung sa palengke or di kaya arawan na trabaho, pwede pa rin magpatuloy ang pagpapasuso. Merong mga importante yung community-based support for breastfeeding, that the mothers and families support each other. Merong mga breastfeeding peer support groups. And then lastly, hospitals and health facilities should support breastfeeding. Ang panganganak dapat unang yakap para siguradong makakapagsimula ng breastfeeding successfully, and to continue breastfeeding in the first 6 months. And then, yung other evidence, other research shows yung continued breastfeeding beyond 6 months. So, pero yan yung magsisimula na yung tinatawag na solid feeding, complementary feeding. So, dapat yan ay high quality, nutrient-rich foods, hindi siya highly processed. So, yan yung mga na-harvest sa mga gulayan, at magkakaiba, hindi lang yung pare-pareho yung kinakain araw-araw. And then, merong mga health practices like dapat kumpleto yung immunization ng bata at dapat na monitor yung growth. And then, para sa mga batang may malnutrition, severe acute malnutrition and severe wasting, yung angkop, no, na treatment ng severe acute malnutrition na binanggit ko kanina. So, yan po yung nutrition. Pagdating sa health, ano yung kailangan ibigay, yung nabanggit ko na, yung prenatal services, yung check-up, safe delivery, at saka yung postnatal care. Pagkapanganak, nakakamusta ang nanay, baka mamaya may pagdudugo, at saka para makamusta din yung kanyang progress sa breastfeeding. And then for the baby, kumpletong check-up, bakuna, screening for diseases, and then deworming. Importante yung water, sanitation, and hygiene. Nagko-contribute yan sa nutrition in the first 1,000 days. So sa mga barangay, may mga importanteng gawin so that there's no more open defecation. There is that families get safe water sources, and hand washing is performed at the important times, lalo na ngayong pandemya, 'di ba? Importante ang wash kasi kapag ang bata ay o ang nanay ay nagtae, nababawasan ang nutrisyon at tumataas yung pangangailangan ng nutrisyon ng tao para maka-recover. And kung nangyari 'to during the first 1,000 days, again, apektado yung nutrisyon na napupunta sana sa brain development. Hindi lang yon, yung ang hindi malinis na paligid, yung may maraming mga dumi, whether sa tao, sa hayop na hindi naliligpit ng maayos, they find that it affects yung absorption ng nutrition sa bituka, 'no? May mga gano'ng kondisyon. And also yung, mga parasites, mga bulate, yan ay maiiwasan kung maayos at malinis ang environment at safe ang tubig. Yung child protection naman ay importante. Importante yung relationship ng parent and child, that it is stable and supportive. Kasama na rin dyan yung mga backup na mga magulang like ang mga lola at ang mga tita, tito. Positive discipline, ibig sabihin walang pananakit ng bata at isang environment o isang community and family that is free from violence, abuse, and exploitation. Bakit to importante at anong kinalaman nito sa nutrition in the first 1,000 days? The studies have shown that when there is what they call toxic stress, no, sa isang bata, naaapektuhan ang utak dahil tumataas ang level ng isang hormone sa katawan na tinatawag na cortisol. Yung cortisol na yon, it affects the development of the brain, yung pag-connect ng mga different brain cells. So, apektado yung development. At meron ding studies na nagsabi na pag mataas ang cortisol sa dugo, naapektuhan pati yung pag-absorb ng nutrients or nutrition doon sa katawan ng bata. So again, importante yon para sa the best care and nutrition in the first 1,000 days. And then last component ay yung early childhood stimulation and education and responsive parenting in the first 1,000 days. Kasi para magising o mag-connect yung ating mga brain cells and brain cells ng bata, kailangan kinakausap, no? And actually the best stimulation will be responding to the child kung ano angkop sa kanyang edad, no? So tinatawag na appropriate parent and caregiver interaction. Kinakausap ang bata, nakikipaglaro sa bata, binabasahan ang bata, kinakantahan ang bata. And then kung merong daycare in the community, pag toddler na siya, nakikipaglaro sa ibang bata. So hindi kailangan ng gadget, no? Ang pinaka effective stimulation is responsive parenting that responds to what the child can do in a certain developmental stage. So meron to sa internet, no? I can share it with May later. I'll send you the file. So hindi naman kailangan, sabi ko, hindi kailangan ng gadget, hindi kailangan ng mga laruan, no? Kasi marami kang magagawa to stimulate the child. So depende sa edad. So yung mga newborns, yun lang, look into the baby's eyes and talk to your baby. Kasi the best stimulus na nakikita nila is a person's face, no? Na ang distansya, yung bang katulad ng distansya pagkarga mo sa kanila. Halimbawa sa 6 months, respond to your child's sounds and interests and call the child's name. So parating kinakausap yung bata para masanay sa pangalan at saka masanay sa tunog ng kinakausap siya ng mas matanda. Kung halimbawa, halimbawa 9 to 12 months, tell your child the names of things and people. So kung kasama mo yung bata, kakausapin mo, pinapansin mo kung ano yung ginagawa at hindi yung parang meron kang kasama mo nga pero nakaharap ka sa telepono, no? Hindi ganoon. Tapos pag 1 year and up, kinakausap, tinatanong sila about simple questions and then answering their questions when they start to have questions. So responsive care includes giving your child affection and showing your love, being aware, in tune ka dun sa mga interest ng bata and responding to them, and praising your child for trying to learn new skills. Nagsimula ako dun sa bakit importante yung first 1,000 days. Ngayon, balik ako uli sa bakit na importanteng mag-invest in the first 1,000 days. May marami na ring pag-aaral na nilagyan nila ng parang peso or dollar, binigyan nila ng value yung first 1,000 days, no? Bakit siya importante? So, yung protection from deadly child and adult diseases, dahil lahat yon ay may gastos at mayroon din siyang equivalent na gastos kung halimbawa sa isang pamilya ay nagkaroon ng may namatay, so may nababawasan ng potential na wage earner in the family. May kinalaman yun nga sa antas ng pag-aaral na maaabot, and then also the earning potential, no, up to 50% more. And then also it leads to lower rates of teen pregnancy, drug abuse, violence, and crime. Ang return on investment, kung magkano ba kung mag-i-invest ka sa first 1,000 days, binanggit ko kanina yung napakalaking problema ng anemia, no, sa mga Filipino women, 1 out of 4. They find that eliminating anemia can increase adult productivity by 5 to 17%. Kasi nga yung mga anemic parang nanghihina, hindi madalas absent, o di kaya hindi maayos yung parang yung concentration sa trabaho. So, nagiging mas productive sila kung hindi na sila anemic. So, it adds 2% to the GDP. Itong GDP ay yung kabuuang kayamanan ng ating ekonomiya, ng ating bansa. So, ang GDP o Gross Domestic Product ng Philippines, 2% is 5 billion increase in GDP every year. So, bilyones ang magiging pagbalik ng investment in the first 1,000 days. May isa pang pananaliksik ng gaano, kung tataya ka sa first 1,000 days, ano yung ikukubra mo. So may mga studies na every $1 invested in nutrition redounds to $30 in economic gains. So kung gamitin na lang natin 50 pesos para mabilis ang math, for every 50 pesos invested in nutrition in the first 1,000 days, kikita ka ng 1,500 o kikita ang ekonomiya natin ng 1,500. Or every 50 pesos invested in nutrition, kikita ka ng 48 dollars times 50, 2,400 in better health and increased productivity. Babalik ko lang pala sa dito sa previous slide, nakalimutan ko i-share sa inyo. Itong GDP na to, na 2%, no? May isa pang study na yung undernutrition in the first 1,000 days, ang losses, no, yung lugi ng ating ekonomiya ay up to 3% every year. And to give you an idea, nung nangyari yung Typhoon Yolanda, yung inestimate na damage noong 2013 ay 3.17% of the GDP. So parang yung nawawala sa ating ekonomiya taon-taon ay parang tatamaan tayo ng isang Typhoon Yolanda taon-taon. Ganon ka-importante. So yun po yung usaping pera, usapin ng kikitain kung mag-invest tayo sa first 1,000 days. Sinabihan din po ako na paano po natin mapapanatili ang breastfeeding and proper nutrition in the time of COVID-19 dahil nga yun sa mga yung mga restrictions or yung mga protection, infection prevention and control against COVID-19. So unang-una, kung mayroon pong COVID-19 ang isang nanay, dapat lang pong magpatuloy ng breastfeeding. Dahil hindi ho napapasa ang virus na ito sa gatas ng ina, bagkus kung mayroong antibodies, bakunado na yung nanay o kaya ay nagkasakit tapos ng COVID tas nag-recover, maipapasa pa nga niya yung kanyang ang antibodies sa 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 baby, no? So, pero importante po kasing maintindihan na ang pagpasa ng COVID-19 are largely through respiratory. Ibig sabihin yung maubuhan o mabugahan o mahingahan ng isang tao na mayroong COVID-19. So, paano yun maiiwasan? So, katulad po ng nirerekomenda ng IATF, ng DOH, yung mask, no? Magmamask kung kahit na may COVID-19, kasi para hindi malagyan ng mabugahan ng COVID ng SARS coronavirus yung baby. Tapos minsan ipapasa kasi through the hands, no, pag na meron ding COVID na mabugahan sa kamay. So importante yung hygiene, yung hand washing before and after breastfeeding. Tapos ano pa ba? Tapos kung oras na ng bakuna, dapat pong magpabakuna, no? Hindi ho bawal o hindi dahilan para hindi magpabakuna ang isang buntis at isang nagpapasuso. So yun po yung tips, no, for breastfeeding and proper nutrition in the time of COVID-19. I think yun na lang po ang huli kong slide. Sana po may natutunan kayo sa aking maiksing pag-share. Maraming salamat po at Happy Nutrition Month muli.
Salamat po for your sharing of knowledge, Dr. Yala. Pagkatapos po ng ating program, mapapanood po ninyo sa FB page ang aming mga video ng activities sa community kung saan mag-aabot ng ani ang mga EcoGarden members sa mga pregnant at lactating mothers. And also, we have some time for questions. Sana po wag muna kayong bumitaw para kumpleto ang ating group picture pagkatapos ng forum. Dr. Castillo, may mga baon po na questions ang ating mga nanay. Paunahin ko po muna sila. May we call on our program manager, May Baez. She will be facilitating this open forum. Thank you so much po.
Salamat, Kim. Salamat, Dr. Castillo. Napaunlakan mo kami dito sa aming activity. Ang ganda ng discussion, malinaw na malinaw sa mga nanay, no? At saka ang papel ng EcoGarden sa sustansya para sa pregnant at lactating mothers. At ang ganda ng mga tips, no? Kasi marami pong nagtatanong doon sa tungkol sa kung may COVID ako, syempre ayaw ko mahawa yung anak ko. So malinaw naman po yung ang ganda, maraming salamat. So may konti po kaming, Dr. Yela, pasensya na ha, may konti lang naman kaming mga tanong bago ka umalis. Isang tanong mula sa nanay, tatanong ko lang kung gusto niyan siya mismo ang magtanong, although pinadala niya sa akin yung tanong niya. Almira, gusto mong ikaw ang mismong magtanong kay Dr. Castillo?
Hindi ako nangangagat.
Almira, ready ka ba? Okay, mukhang nahihiya.
Shy si Almira.
Oo. Actually, sinulat niya sa chat box. So, tungkol po dun sa isang nanay na may G6PD, Doktora, G6PD.
May ano?
G6PD.
G6PD deficiency.
Oo, kasi gusto niyang malaman, magabayan kung ano ang dapat na diet ng bata at saka nung nanay kung ganun ang kanilang kalagayan.
Yung G6PD, Almira, is yung bata, ibig sabihin, meron siyang kulang na isang enzyme sa katawan na ginagamit na pang-metabolize, yung paggamit ng nutrisyon. So, yung G6PD, ang importante doon, iniiwasan lang mga gamot. Yung may gamot na mga may specific antibiotic, yung may sulfa, yung ang isang popular brand doon, yung mga Bactrim, cotrimoxazole, yun iniiwasan. Tapos may mga iniiwasang mga chemical. Pero sa pagkain, yung yung parang proper nutrition guidelines, yun din yun. Walang bagong walang ibang iiwasan pagdating sa G6PD.
Okay. Salamat. So, okay lang talagang magpa-breastfeed at walang special
Oo.
diet para kay nanay, Doktora?
Wala. Oo, walang kailangang special diet.
Ayan. At ang ikalawang tanong.
Pero yun lang, pag tatanungin lang, sisiguraduhin kung may re-resetahan ka na antibiotic, magtatanong ka, sabihin mo, ay yung may G6PD. Yun ang bantay mo doon.
Yan, may allergies ako dyan sa sulfa, Doktora. Baka may G6PD pala ako.
Iba naman yun. Iba yung allergy.
Okay. So may tanong po si Doktora, si Elizabeth, nasa chat box natin. Have you come across research?
Ay, oo. Yes.
Have you come across research showing the effects of cell phones interrupting that essential aspect? If mothers are looking at their cell phones instead of into the child's eyes during breastfeeding, can you elaborate on the effects it has on the child?
Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for your question. I cannot name a specific research on the effect of cell phone interrupting essential aspect. The body of research on the first 1,000 days is actually like on the global, like more of neglect and not specifically on the effects of cell phones. But if I find anything, I'll share it. I will also ask my colleagues in the ECCD section if they have come across this specific kind of research question. And
Thank
also
you, Dr.
the
Castillo.
research. Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry I wasn't able.
No, it's okay. It just started to rain here in Bicol. But I appreciate that you're looking at the nutrients, but looking at it too from a holistic state. When you mentioned the eye contact, I remembered something my mother mentioned actually about reports coming back that when women are breastfeeding and looking at their cell phones, that the social impact and that connection, that bonding is so important. So do send some research, and thank you so much, Dr. Castillo. I've really appreciated this. I've learned today, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, po. Salamat po.
Thank you, Dan. Actually, the research is more in child development is more on not on the what is wrong or what not to do, but more of what to do. So there's solid the research on, for example, what are the patterns that most newborns or that newborns most respond to. So that's why there came those those toys na red, black, white, no, because they're the ones that have the most contrast. But one of the research also shows that it's the pattern of the face, because it's also high contrast, yung my eyes and then the lips moving, so that's very stimulating that infants respond to. And also there's research on what is the optimum distance of the face, no, dun sa mother's face to the baby's face, since the baby's vision is not yet 20/20 at birth. It's actually around the 4th month of life when it becomes 20/20 and more clear. So the optimum or the most ideal distance is the distance when the mother is breastfeeding the child. So that's the basis for so that's where the research findings that also inform this recommendation. Yon. And then si Rowena may tanong siya kung pwedeng magpasuso ang na mild stroke. Oo, Rowena, pwede. Pwedeng magpasuso.
Kasi daw po, doktora, sinabi daw po ng doktor niya na wag na daw po magpa-dede kasi maraming siyang tinitake na gamot.
Kasi alam mo, salamat sa pagtanong at kasi minsan yung halimbawa yung doktor sa stroke, baka hindi siya up to date, no, dun sa mga recommendations. Pero bilang lang talaga yung gamot na magpapabawal ng breastfeeding. Actually, dalawa lang naisip ko. Alam ko nandito si Dr. Mian sa call na to ha. Mian, dagdagan mo kung kulang yung sasabihin ko o mali. Dalawa lang naisip ko. Una yung mga pang-chemotherapy, cancer. So yung mga ganong gamot, tapos yung radioactive na mga drugs. Again, binibigay yun sa may cancer. So, yung ibang gamot tulad ng mga iniinom na mild stroke, yung mga maintenance, halimbawa mild stroke, nabigyan siguro yan ng aspirin, nabigyan siguro ng gamot sa cholesterol, at saka, I don't know, some brain, yung mga vitamin B, pwede yan. Hindi yan bawal sa pagpapasuso. So, pwede po. Ayan, agree daw si Doc Mian. Sabi mo pwede ha.
Oo. Salamat. Salamat. So, mukhang wala nang ibabalik ko na maraming salamat Dr. Castillo at maraming salamat sa background Dr. Mian sa pag-confirm.
May backup ako. Backup expert.
Yes. Ipipila namin din yan. Okay, so babalik na po ko na po sa aming MC, kay Kim from Camarines Norte, ang aming program assistant doon.
Maraming salamat po, Ate May, sa aming program manager. Kay Dr. Mariella Castillo po, maraming salamat po sa information. Marami talaga kaming natutunan ngayong araw na to. At salamat po sa mga nanay na nagtanong at nasagot din po nila Doktora at lalo pa ng background, yung backup po ni Doktora Castillo na si Doktora Mayan. Ayun, sobrang salamat po talaga. At ngayon po, pagkatapos po ng ating program, again, mapapanood ninyo sa Facebook page namin ang mga video ng activities sa community kung saan mag-aabot ng ani ang mga EcoGarden members sa mga pregnant at lactating mothers. Abangan nyo po ito. And ngayon po, pwede pong pa-on po ng ating camera dahil po ibibigay ko kay Ate May para mag-group picture na po tayo. So pagandahan na po tayo ng ngiti, mga ka-EcoGarden. Back to you, Ate
Kim,
May.
pwedeng Kim and May, sorry, last.
Yes,
meron lang akong ihahabol pala dun sa nagtanong sa G6PD. Merong mga recommendation pala na ang mag-avoid ng soy, peanuts at munggo, to be sure. So yun pala, sorry ang sabi ko lang yung gamot. Habol ko yun, may mga experts nag-advise mag-avoid ng soy, peanuts and munggo. Okay?
Doc May, hi Doc Yela. Pwede back up?
Yes, please.
2 minutes, yes. Doon sa nagtanong po doon sa G6PD deficiency, di ba po yung parang meron kayong listahan dapat ng mga pagkain na hindi dapat kainin ng baby ninyo, no? Because your red blood cells ay pumuputok daw po, no? Doc Yela, if I may take 2 minutes, no? Madalas na tanong ito dun sa aming acute malnutrition workshops, no? Pero rinaise na rin namin dun sa National Institutes of Health, no? Kasi clarify namin sa Emergency Nutrition Network, talaga ba pong bawal ang munggo, bawal ang soybeans, bawal ang peanuts, no? At clarify po ng ENN at UNICEF na hindi ho bawal. Rinaise na namin yung issue sa National Institutes of Health. lalo na't ang G6PD variant natin dito sa Pilipinas, sa mga bata, Pinoy na babies natin ay mild lang po. No? So ang nanay na nagbe-breastfeed ay actually pwede naman pong kumain ng munggo, peanuts at saka soy sauce. Yun lang po. Salamat po. Sayang ho kasi protina ho yun. Very important source ng proteins. Doc Yella, thank you ha. Thank you.
We thank you, Mian. So pwede munggo ha, munggo.
Yes, pinagbabawalan kasi nila na magmunggo, etc. Kaso yung Mediterranean variant natin, fava beans, yun eh. Wala tayo halos ganun na variant dito sa Pilipinas. So it's okay for the breastfeeding mom and even the young infants with G6PD deficiency na confirmed na kumain ng munggo, peanuts at saka soy. Wala pa pong nare-report na naputukan ng maraming red blood cells sa pagkain nitong mga pagkain na ito na very rich source of protein. Pero yung sa gamot po na bawal ho talaga yung mga trimethoprim. Salamat po, sorry.
Okay po.
Thank you, Mian.
You're welcome, Doc Yella.
Napakalaking tulong po ng information ninyo, Dr. Yella at Dr. Mian. Kasi po meron din po akong kilala, actually close ko na baby na may G6PD. And ingat na ingat po yung aking kumare. Pero ngayon at least nakakatuwa pong isipin na nadagdagan po ang aming kaalaman at ibabahagi ko po ito sa mga nanay dito sa amin na may mga ganyang problema din po. So sobrang salamat po talaga sa inyong mga doktora. And Ate May, sige na po, mag-group picture na po tayo. Ready na kaming lahat.
Commute.
Ay, sorry, nakamute pala ako. Inintay ko lang pong mag-on ang ating mga kapatid ng kanilang camera para magkakitaan tayo kahit malayo tayo. We have actually friends from in the USA.
Yes,
tuning in. So we can see each other now. And we'll take a group picture. Are we ready? Jane Lanning, Ophelia, Kagawad Annabelle. 1, 2, 3. One more please. 1, 2, 3. Sa susunod po, sandali lang, baka meron pang kulang. Sandali lang po.
Malapit na.
Okay, one last. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. Wait.
Maraming salamat po sa pag-group picture. And at this point po, may we request Project Propel's Operating Officer, Amanda Barizo, to virtually present to Dr. Castillo the Certificate of Appreciation and deliver the closing message.
Sorry, hindi ko na-cue yung
Wow, thank you so much, Doc Yella and Dr. Mayan, also for giving your input on this very important topic. On behalf of Project Propel, I really want to present this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Mariella Sugue Castillo, UNICEF Philippines, for her valuable contribution to the success of EcoGardens took 1,000 days as keynote speaker during the kickoff ceremony for the National Nutrition Month celebration. Given this day, July 2021, in Barangay, Dona, Imelda, Quezon City, Philippines. And thank you, Dr. Castillo, for highlighting this critical window of opportunity where health, nutrition, and development foundations are established. Through nutrition, we can maximize a child's ability to grow, learn, develop, and thrive. And you've really shown that in your presentation. Nutrition during the first 1,000 days can significantly impact national and global development goals. And you showed that with your slides on return on investment. For example, how eliminating anemia can really impact and positively impact the GDP in our country. And also the sustainable development goals, namely Sustainable Development Goal number 2, zero hunger, SDG number 3, good health and well-being, and specifically indicator number 2.2, which is we really want to end by 2030 all forms of malnutrition, and including by 2025, really achieving those internationally agreed targets on stunting and wasting in children under the years of 5. I'm so appreciative that you also talked about the first 1,000 days during this time of COVID and the pandemic. We did read this study recently that 6 out of 10 every households experienced food insecurity during the pandemic. And this has been shown by the Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey just last year that it's highest in households with children and pregnant members. Dr. Castillo also highlighted the importance of breastfeeding, even if the mother has COVID, with those extra precautions in place. So this is very important for our nanays to know sa community. Also, when we're taking the vaccine, it's still very important that we continue breastfeeding before and after the vaccines. So this is really a call to action to advocate for increased attention to nutrition in the first 1,000 days. We also want to rally communities, all LGUs, all of our partners to really support programs like community vegetable gardens, like these EcoGardens. And we're so happy to have the support of LGUs to really ensure families can have free access to nutrient-rich foods. Thank you all so much for your time this morning. And I hope we have all received inspiration to kick off this month of July. May we all continue to eat gulay for buhay, stay healthy and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Imelda, for for that wonderful message. Thank you so much for everyone for participating in our event today. Please regularly check our Facebook Live throughout the day to see how the distribution of gulay from the EcoGardens to our pregnant and lactating mothers is going. Muli, magandang July po sa ating lahat